friends, hello, welcome back. As most of us know right now, Jack Eichel is just booming as far as trade talk is concerned around the NHL. And as we know, there's a lot of talk about the surgery. And, you know, I personally, I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on it. Personally, I don't blame Jack Eichel a bit. At this point in time, it's a guy that's got to consider the rest of his life. It's more than 10 years. The Buffalo Sabres like, oh, when you're done being a Sabre, screw you. I don't care if you live past 37 kind of deal here. You know, call that extreme. But that's kind of the situation, you know, the way it's being portrayed. So in that case, you know, Jack Eichel wants to go, hey, let him go. You know, completely get it. It is what it is. Nonetheless, there are 5 teams we have heard talk about being part of the rumors of Jack Eichel. Right now, there's 2 front runners, Calgary, Vegas. But there's been 5 teams going around, and as we know with these trades, odds are we're going to just see some random team swoop in there and pick this guy up. But, you know, one day it's like, oh, we're really close to a trade. Next day, oh, we are nowhere close to a trade. Oh, 2 or 3 hours later, things are heating back up in the world of Jack Eichel. We're going to go through these 5 teams, though, and see what they would have to give up to get Jack Eichel. Now, one of the toughest things we're going to see here is cap situations. Now, the Ducks have $9 million in cap space. You can see why they're a team interesting. They got some older guys over there, but they're also a team that always builds around some good young defensemen. And once again, we're seeing that in Drysdale now. You know, you got Lindholm, Raquel, Cam Fowler, Manson. I mean, this team's got a solid core on defense, so they can get things together. You can bring a guy like Jack Eichel over, and all of a sudden, things start to look really good for the Anaheim Ducks. Now, I'm imagining if you're the Sabres, because this is what the Sabres like to do. They don't go full rebuild. They go like semi-rebuild. That way they can be like the 3rd worst team in the league every year. Sorry, Buffalo. It tends to happen. And it confuses me, but it seems like that's what happens with the Sabres. It's like they're like, all right, we're selling off. And then they'll go sign a couple veteran, solid guys to help bolster the team a little bit. I never understand it. I really like that. I'm not even trying to dog on the Sabres. I really would like to see them get things together and be a more successful team, like, for real. But it's weird when you see teams do it that way. Nonetheless, do you think they ask for a defenseman? And what kind of defenseman do you think they get? I'm going to say that's language. I'm going to say a guy like Manson or Fowler could get involved here. I don't know, though. How long's these guys got left on their contracts? 1 year remaining for Manson. Now, is that updated? Maybe not. Maybe they trade for a guy like Manson. That's a rental. That's a risky business right there. Maybe they plan on extending him, though. We're going to say Manson. We're going to say it's going to take a 1st-round pick. I tell you what, I think people think they're getting one of the best centers in the league for free by looking at some of these trades. I seen what Vegas was turning down. It's going to cost you a 1st-round pick, Anaheim. It's going to cost you Manson a 1st and more than that. What else you got? Buffalo could use some goaltending. You got a good backup? Oh, yeah, 73 overall. That seems nice. How about Stellaris? Yeah, we ain't really interested in that over here in Buffalo. Buffalo probably wants... You know what Buffalo really needs? They need a center. You know, because they're going to lose one. Let's look some trade value here. Let's draw something up for the Sabres. Do we have somebody? Man, it is so freaking hard to see this screen here. Why? It's even harder to see the green than the black. I'm over here like, hang on a second. Let me read this name before I say it out loud. It's like you gotta, if you highlight it, it ain't too bad. That Deuce is always a nice trade piece there. What about a guy like Sam Steele? Not a chance. 23. I think he's too young. Larson's a little young there. Gruel. I remember Gruel. Is he 21 now? What was he? Was he not 1st-round pick? 2nd-round pick. I'm thinking of the wrong guy. I'm thinking of Gruel. Gruhle, I think. And that's probably like Gruel with an X. Lundstrom. Lundstrom's an interesting one. 21 years young. We're going to throw him in there. A little young prospect action. Why not? Trade still not close. According to late Buffalo Sabres. Trade rejected. It's going to cost more. And I don't blame EA for wanting that much. I think the Sabres should want that much. This is a guaranteed franchise player if... See, this is the question now. If he comes back healthy. But you're getting, what, 7 years of a top 10 center in the league? The most highly sought out position, 5 years. You can't beat that. You get 4 years because he's injured this year. If he comes back healthy. I mean, any team he goes to, he instantly makes them a cup contender. Did we just try this trade and they said it's still not going to happen today? Yes, absolutely. We'll see. We threw on a couple players. Buffalo's still a team that's rebuilding. I think they're going to want some draft picks. They're going to throw a first and a second for Jack Eichel. They're not going to take that. What if we throw on 2 seconds? You know, we're just tossing them out the window at this point in time. You might as well see what they're willing to do. EA's been pretty decent on trades this year. Trade still rejected, so 2 seconds not going to do it. I don't know if the Anaheim Ducks go another young prospect. I don't think they should. I'm not a GM. There's 2 ways you can look at this. You can say, hey, on one side, you got Raquel, 28. Cam Fowler, 29. Adam Henrique, 31. Getzlaf, 36. And you say, hey, we want to get some of these veterans. Why will we still have a chance? Now let's play some hockey. Same time, though, you want to methodically say, maybe you build around Jack Eichel for the future. I'm going to say they give up another draft pick before they give up. Yeah, we're going to say another draft pick. We're going to say first. 2 first. Manson, who is essentially a rental, unless they have unless they've extended him, in Lundstrom. Trade still rejected. Buffalo is a tough customer for these Anaheim Ducks. We'll throw in a second. Trade still rejected. It's going to take a heck of a lot more for the Anaheim Ducks, who, by the way, I mean, if you get Jack Eichel, it changes things. Otherwise, really good potential in that draft pick. We might throw on, and some nice trade valued players right there. What if we throw on the 19-year-old Perreault? Where's he taking? First round, 2021. I heard Vegas wouldn't give up a first-round pick from 2 years ago that hasn't scored a single point in the NHL. That blew my mind. For Jack Eichel! He just came into the league and killed it. We're throwing on Perreault. Bang! Trade still rejected. And you might not be able to make a trade with the Buffalo Sabres. This just might not happen. I don't think they want to talk to you guys. Let's try 3 first. Man, we might have to drop Manson. So dropping a no burger on that trade. What if we drop Manson and they still saying like that ain't gonna happen either? This is a price to pay for Jack Eichel. I don't know about all of it. I don't know. Zegras. You ain't getting Zegras. You definitely. Oh, you might. He ain't got a profile picture. He ain't that good if he ain't got a profile picture. That's the rules. They are looking for a team's first round pick. We're gonna say Zegras. That's too much. 4 first round picks for Jack Eichel. I ain't doing that. Neither's Buffalo in this game. EA, you've been very good at making realistic trades this year in franchise mode. But the second we say, let's get Jack Eichel, you are not budging. It's going to cost the Anaheim Ducks for Jack Eichel 5 first-round draft picks. And they're still not going to take it. Apparently, the Anaheim Ducks are just going to have to pay for the entire house if they want good old Buffalo Sabre. Oh, man. They ain't doing it. There ain't no chance. That's right. Buffalo ain't doing it either. We ain't got to worry about it. All right. EA doesn't want to play ball. So we're going to draw up a trade that says even on the trade meter. We're not going to give you them. And we're just going to stick with that. That's going to be the game plan. I wanted to send the trade. EA's not cooperating. I mean, if we're going by a trade value by EA, that's the game we're trying to play is the trade value game. We're going to go back to Manson. We're going to go first Manson. I think that's fair. Like the trade meter, I'm trying to turn my face sideways. You know, it looks great. This would be a great video to have the webcam going. Camera going, no webcam. We ain't allowed to use webcams because God forbid the lighting fits our skin complexion on those things. Nonetheless, first Manson for Eichel. You're doing that, Anaheim. I think that's the game you have to play to get Jack Eichel. I don't seem like a lot though, but that's a fair trade according to EA's meters. Let's talk the Los Angeles Kings next, though. Now, this is a team, I think the Kings are less likely than the Ducks. We was trying to go in order, but apparently that's not going to happen. I think the Kings will be less likely. They have $2 million in cap space. You got Kopitar, you got Doughty. It's a team that's less likely because of the cap predicament, but it's also a team that, because they got $10 million in Kopitar and Doughty, that they want to try to win while they have those guys under contract. And it makes complete sense for them to go out there and try to get a guy like Eichel, some second line depth. Maybe that'll help turn things around for that organization. Maybe. It's amazing that they had that core and things just kind of went downhill. I don't know Drew Doughty's value in this game. He's always got him as a very high rating no matter how poorly he plays. Kopitar's top. You got Bobby Clark. Just kidding. That's a Hall of Famer, right? Legend, Hall of Famer, icon, something like that. 18 years old, Brant Clark. The first round pick from 2021. I'm giving him up. The defenseman 18 years young. 7th round pick. You got Byfield. You got Turkett. Ooh, maybe you give up Turkett. I'm not giving up Turkett. At depth forward, he's got the elite potential. The first round pick of 2019. Man, they got some picks over here in LA. They've been picking high for a while. This really does look like a good trade in their case, now that I think about it. If Drew Doughty can actually play some hockey. And if Kopitar continues to kill it out there, even at 34. Because you got these young guys, Clark, Byfield, Turkett. You bring in Jack Eichel. The thing is, I don't think any team wants to give up a lot for that. Like you said, I think it's funny because he's a top 10 center. I'm willing to give up a lot for Jack Eichel. I know there's question marks out there, but I ain't afraid. I'll take that chance. He wants to be a Blue Jacket. He can be a Blue Jacket. We're going to try Turkett. That's a big pick. That's a big addition to this team, or a trade. Again, I don't know if Buffalo wants to go prospects, draft picks. I think you got to go. You got to try to do both, really. That's a tough thing to do with any team. That's why a trade's difficult. Because they kind of want both. Because you still have guys like Darlene on this team. Who else they got? Anybody? Buffalo, they got Darlene's. Ristolainen still a Saber? You still play hockey? Oh, yeah, Dylan Cousins. Darlene's got no trade right in this game. That's unfortunate. Rosane. It's got to be a Rosane, right? Because of the asterisk there. Nonetheless, all right. So we're talking Turkett. Coming out swinging are the LA Kings. They want to win right now. I don't know why, but they kind of want to win right now. Kings will be over the cap. That's a lie. They're going to have to make some moves here. They have, they're only $7 million over the cap. Again, we knew that was going to be a problem. Who can take some cap off of the LA Kings? Would the Buffalo Sabres dare retain some salary? We're going to throw in downtown Dustin Brown. I think that's the start. Do we happen to be close? No. I can't believe we're going to say, see, I don't think an LA King, I just don't know how they make it work. I don't. They have some serious cap maneuverability. I think that's why we ain't heard a lot of Kings talk. That would make the trade work with some cap. They don't even have to retain that much, actually. EA doesn't retain salaries in this game. That's going to be the difficult problem here. Never. That ain't happening. It just doesn't happen. But 1.6, we try that. Trade's not good enough there with the first, I don't think yet. Let's see what they say. Absolutely not. First, Turkett. It's probably Turcotte. I'm calling it Turkett. Turkett. In a second. First Turkett in a second. D Brown, baby. They ain't gonna take that. They ain't gonna take that. Again, I don't think EA wants to play ball with this today. Usually, we've had a lot of success trading for players this year, but I guess when you get to the potential of Jack Eichel, they just ain't about it. I think you look right there. Again, I think that's a fair looking trade. Do we give up more than that? Turkett, LA Kings first, Dustin Brown in a second. It's essentially 2 firsts for Jack Eichel. Still a stud. I feel like you got to give up more for than that. I don't think the Sabres are going to get more than that, though. That is tough. I'm going to throw on a Pittsburgh Penguins third. That's what I'm going to call the trade for the LA Kings. Now, EA is not going to play ball. We'll see if EA play. That's what I'm playing ball with the Kings. We'll see if EA plays ball with the first, though. 2 firsts, a second, and Turkett and Brown, they are saying, nope, no chance. Yeah, EA's not going to play ball with us today. We're just going to draw up trades and see what the best meter is there, or get an even trade out of each team here, I think, which is all right. It works just as fine that way. My apologies, by the way, if you can just so happen to hear my heater in the background. It's kind of cold. A little bit nippy in here. I just put a freaking sweatshirt on, maybe some pants, but that's crazy talk. We ain't doing that. Okay, Buffalo, Minnesota. We're getting to the nitty gritty here. Buffalo giving up a big bad Jack Eichel with the trade value of all trade value. Of course, they would like Kaprizov. Well, who wouldn't? Marco Rossi is potentially going to be a stud. You know who's not potentially a stud? Jack Eichel. He's guaranteed to be a stud. We're giving up Marco Rossi. Big trade piece there for the Buffalo Sabres. We're going to throw on a first, and we're going to throw on a second. We are not messing around in Minnesota. We're just going straight at it. Marco Rossi at first, and they are $8.5 million quadrillion over the cap. I didn't realize Minnesota had that much cap problems. I mean, that's another team that's not in the talk for a reason. No, what that explains, they're paying Spurgeon $7.5 million. Wow, Kaprizov's at 9 too. I didn't realize he was already getting paid. Good for him. Dang. Spurgeon. I'm calling you Spurgeon. I'll call you whatever I want for 7.65 mil or 575 million. I'll tell you what. Zuccarello. You dare get rid of Zuccarello. What kind of season did Zuccarello just have for these Sabres to deserve an 84 overall? Let's talk about this. Minnesota, 35 points. He ain't too bad. Ain't too bad at all. They're probably going to want to keep him. Eriksson, they've got to find somebody to move. Here's some cap space. Goligoski. Yeah. They might have to move Goligoski or Rask. I mean, they're picking up a center. I think they can move Rask. We'll put Rask in this deal. I don't know. Buffalo wants Rask. They're still over the cap, even with Rask. Got a serious problem here. They're going to have Buffalo retain some salary. It's amazing how teams that, like the Toronto Maple Leafs, just manage to get around a cap somehow. Like, they're just tossing that money out. You got to give a lot of credit to the GM for that. And then you have other teams like they ain't carrying those 4 freaking elite players. That trade's not going through. Not a chance. First, second, Rask. I think they got to give up more than that. Trade meter looks a little uneven. Where else would we be here? Maybe another second? Would another second get us there? 2 seconds and a first? I don't think that's enough. That's pretty close. They ain't gonna do it. They're totally unwilling, says the EA Sports game of video here. Let's try it first. That's an overpay. And I think that still has to happen. 2 first, Rossi a second. That's 3 first-round draft picks for Jack Eichel. Does the Buffalo Sabres, this is a serious question. Who thinks the Sabres get 3 first-round picks back? And not necessarily draft picks, but 3 first-round picks, whether they be for 2018, 2019, whatever. What do you think the odds are? I mean, if Eichel's not going to play for you ever again, you got to get rid of him. There's no leverage. That's the problem they run into. And that's why you say a trade like this, a first, second, Rossi, and Rask is still too much. But, again, leverage or no leverage, a good GM will make it happen. You got to look at Jack or Pierre-Luc Dubois. He had one out of Columbus. Man goes out there and they get Patrick Laine in return. The NHL is a weird place because some guys get a whole lot of trade value back and other teams get fleeced, you know, like Ryan O'Reilly for Tage Thompson, Saboka, a couple other guys I never heard of in my life for Ryan O'Reilly, and he just goes and kills it. I remember when the Blues fans were upset about that. But, you know, that's what you got to consider when you got the Sabres that you're working with. What are they going to let go Jack Eichel for? Now we're getting to the good stuff. The Calgary Flames, the Vegas Golden Knights, 2 teams that have been heavily talked about as of late, still legitimately in the Buffalo Sabre Jack Eichel sweepstakes here. I really thought if we talked a little bit slower, drug it out, that this would have loaded through by then. It didn't happen. That's all right. Oh, we're still processing. Oh, he's done. What do we got here? No EA server. Oh, that's great. That's what the problem was. See, the EA servers were down, so we couldn't load into an online or offline game mode as quick. That makes sense. Gotcha. I feel it. All respect to you. All right, Buffalo. You guys lowered your standard yet? Maybe we should have put the trading on easy. Like I said, so far it's been easy to trade with teams in this game. A lot of guys ain't got that Jack Eichel trade value, but it's been easy to trade with players in this game. All right. Bronson, gone. Yeah, you couldn't have him. Kachuk, Gaudreau, Lindholm, those guys are all off of the block here. Valimaki, I imagine he's not being traded either because, again, they've got to have some defense around here as well. I really like the offense of Calgary already. I'm just surprised at they play the way they are. You'd think Lindholm, Gaudreau, Kachuk, Monahan. But they're some solid players. You might be able to move a Chris Tanev. I don't think they wanted Tanev. I don't think they're ready for that. I think they're looking more at a guy like Zari over here. Connor Zari, the 24th overall pick in the 2021 or 2020 draft. Or they could get a guy like Jacob Pelletier. Could also be out there. They might offer a trade up for both of them. We're going to say Zari, the younger guy. It's a center. Again, you don't need him as much. You got Monahan. You got Lindholm. Lindholm ain't a center. I knew that. I don't know. You got Monahan. You're going to have Eichel. I mean, that's your 1-2 punch, right? You don't really need that high potential third center on your team. So you're happy to get rid of him. And you're going to get rid of, it looks like, the whole house. Because this team is at $90 million in cap. That ain't bad. Oh, a little bit over the cap. Not bad. Again, I don't even know if you play the cap game in return. Because I feel like, again, if these teams are making a trade, they're going to find a way to make it work. It's just not going to work through EA's trade thing. They're just going to trade guys or drop guys, whatever. The goaltending. Yeah, I figured Markstrom is getting paid. Good for Markstrom. $6 million? Dang. Not bad. Yeah, they got so many guys that got middle of the pack paychecks for 4. They're going to have to move one of these guys. Lucic is going to be that guy. Somebody's going to pay to get Lucic, and it's going to have to go down like that, period. You look at Tam, not bad. Zadorov. Man, you're getting 2 points. They got a solid team. This is a game or a trade where it's not going to happen through the Buffalo Sabres, I don't think. I think it's a team that's going to have to move somebody else. That's tough. Do you give them Blake Coleman? That is a solid Stanley Cup winner. Guy to have on your bottom six. A solid depth guy. You can put him on your top six if you want. I don't know if I'd want to get rid of him. I really don't. I don't know if they'd take him. It wouldn't make sense to the Sabres to take Coleman. Not at 29. Maybe they can get Dubé. That's not going to get any cap fixtures in there, though. Calgary's got some problems. I don't know how Calgary's planning on affording this. I really don't. We'll just play along, though. Why not? They're going to want a prospect. They're going to want a first. I think they're going to take 2 of Calgary's first because I think they're a much, better team in position here to go out and win games and have a later draft pick. So we're going to do 2 firsts. And sorry, so that's 3 firsts. Need a little bit more butter on the biscuit there to make that trade work. That's right, butter on the biscuit, baby. Man, who would they be willing to wheel and deal? It's so tough. They ain't gonna give away a top 6 or top 4 D-man, man. It just ain't gonna happen, Buffalo. I don't know if you think it's gonna happen, but teams are trying to win right now. They ain't paying all this money for Jack Eichel to lose. Mark Stone! Just kidding. Defenseman, no. Michael Stone. I never remember his first name. Kylington. Got a little trade right. They might throw Kylington in there. Kylington might work. Again, he's 24. Throw Kylington in there. Kylington, 2 firsts, and Zari. I think that's a pretty fair looking trade. Looks like the meters are good. Maybe, and we might have to give them a little bit more. I think we're good. How you guys feel about that? 2 firsts, Zari, and Kylington for Jack Eichel for the Calgary Flames. It's easy for me to sit here and say, but I'm sending him. Not my money, but I'm sending him for that all day. All day. Because again, if you're the Calgary Flames, you're thinking, hey, that's going to be a 20th back first round pick. There's a pretty good chance that doesn't hit. There's a good chance he never makes the NHL. Jack Eichel's going to be here for another 5-10 years. Why not? I think a lot of us, and I am 110% guilty of this, I think a lot of us get too tied down to our prospects and their potential. I remember when the Blue Jackets traded Kirby Eichel to the Leafs for, I don't even remember, it wasn't that much. It's like, yeah, man, you can't do that. You can't do that. I don't even know if Kirby Eichel knows what an NHL ice arena looks like. Really. That's how that turned out. That's a lot. That's a lot of cases, especially in the NHL. A lot of guys come up, especially the later picks in the draft, come up and be average at best. Depth guys that you can go pick up somewhere else. You can sign some depth players. You can draft them later on. That's going to happen. Now, if you trade a draft pick away that ends up being, a Nikita Kucherov or a Pavel Datsyuk, it's like, I thought he didn't have any potential. We drafted him late. Or whatever. That stings. But, again, you're guaranteed. If he comes back healthy, that is the scary thing here. That is the predicament of all predicaments. If he comes back healthy, a great player. Vegas. Let's see. I am interested in this guy that they were not willing to send away. That supposedly was a deal breaker. Does EA even have him inside the top 6,000? There's Krebs right there. The 20-year-old. I don't understand how you don't do that. He's a 17. See, that's what surprises me. The 17th overall pick from 2019, 2 years ago. He's 20 years old. Has never put a point up in his NHL career in the NHL. Sure, he's young. Some guys take longer to develop than others. But a lot of these guys, when they take longer to develop than others, their entire career. And they never develop like the others. Especially a 17th round pick. I'm shipping Krebs out every day of the week, twice on Saturday. See you later. I'll throw on a box of chocolates. I'll give you a first round pick. So Krebs. Might be talking out of my head here. Fill me in, Vegas fans. Let me know how ignorant I am. outsider. Maybe that's the good thing, though, when you get the outsider opinion looking at your players. You know, again, because like I said, I'm completely guilty of it. If you was like, I gotta give up Cole Sillinger and the boys, I'd be like, you know? Somebody not a Blue Jacket fan, they're like, send it, you know? You're thinking with your heart. You're getting a little too sentimentally attached to some players. I'd send Krebs in a first in a heartbeat. That trade anywhere close. EA wouldn't send that. It's going to cost Vegas. Again, because Vegas is guaranteed to be a late pick already. That's why the draft picks ain't worth nothing. That's another team that ain't got the cap space for Jack Eichel. I'm interested in seeing how these teams are going to finagle their way. You know what they're going to do? They're going to say, Mark Stone, how you feel about a 3-4 month vacation? Long-term IR, you come back in playoffs, you know, Polo and Nikita Kucherov, be good to go. Because you ain't getting rid of Petro. I didn't know they found a way to get Petro. You ain't getting rid of Petro. You ain't getting rid of Stone. Shea Theodor's going nowhere. Pacioretty's going nowhere. I don't think you get rid of Carlson. Granted. Yeah, you can't go to Carlson. Marsh, no, it's not going to happen. You don't. You just don't. Maybe Martinez. I don't think so. Maybe Riley Smith could happen. Dadonov could happen. I could see them getting rid of Dadonov if they bring Eichel in. You know, he can uplift whoever he plays. See, that's the thing with these guys. He can bring up... Jack Eichel is a guy that's going to make the guys around him better. Like, you can still let Carlson and them guys play together. Jack Eichel, you just give him a couple of, you know, give him a Stevenson and, I don't know, give him some Stevenson and Riley Smith action or something. It'll make them look like all-stars out there. I'm going to say, I don't know. Again, I'm trying to play this game as a Buffalo GM, which means we've already given up too much. But I'm trying to play this game as thinking you'd want younger players. You still have a young core in Buffalo. You're not winning right now. They got to put things together. They got to get some free agents. They got to. You're losing your best player. You're in a really bad spot if you're Buffalo. You have to collect as many assets as possible. And I think, again, you go to the draft pick screen. I'm not going to try to figure out this Vegas cap space. That's their problem. You're Vegas. Who first? Krebs. I don't think they're going to do that. It's going to cost more than that. According to EA, they need a lot more than that. And rightfully so, because, again, Stanley Cup contender, you add Jack Eichel, and they become very close to the favorite in that Western Conference. 3 firsts. 3 firsts for Eichel and Krebs. You are paying... I don't think I'd do that. I don't. You know, you're just talking about not getting attached to the prospects. That's too much, though. I can't give up 3 years of the future for Jack Eichel. I can't. It's not in me. You have to be able to build around that. Where do those picks go, though? You look at some of the dynasties in the league, and you look at their drafts, and you're like, wow, where did they, what happened? They haven't drafted anybody in 8 years. But it's also those guys that have the biggest downfalls down the road, you know, like the Detroit Red Wings now. I don't know. This is why I'm not a GM. This is the trade I'm sending. No 3 first, Krebs, and a 3rd. That's fair according to EA. That seems like a lot. I'm dropping 3rd. You ain't getting it. That's where we're getting the next Nikita Kucherov's that 3rd round pick. We're sending you 3 first and Krebs. How do you feel about it? I want to hear your guys' thoughts on these trades. The Eichel trade. How bad do you think the Sabres are going to get fleeced? I think they're getting fleeced. I hope Eichel comes back healthy. I'm assuming he comes back healthy. But you got to hope so. If you're the team receiving him. And that's the thing. You're taking that big gamble, though. Love your guys' thoughts. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time.